Welcome to Instant Curry from USA. I'm very excited to share one of my favorite vegetarian dishes, Dum Aloo. This dish is one of the delicacies that's always served at a wedding or a festival. I've taken 20 to 25 baby potatoes. I've pierced each one of them with a skewer. I have boiling water here. To that I'm adding salt and adding the prepared potatoes. I'm going to let it cook for 6 minutes after it comes to a full boil. While the potatoes are cooking, we can get the stuffing ready. Once these potatoes are boiled for 6 minutes, we can peel it and stuff it. For the stuffing, I am using 1 teaspoon of tutti frutti. You can use any dried fruits finely chopped. Along with that, I am using finely chopped cashews, finely chopped cilantro, 1 teaspoon, and 1 whole green chili crushed. Give it a good mix and add unsweetened khova. You can also add paneer. Now mix this well and set it aside. Now once the baby potatoes are cooked, peel them. I had to stop their cooking by adding them to the ice cold water. You do not want them well cooked. You just want them just 80% cooked. After that, I stuffed them with the help of the skewer and a spoon. Once all the potatoes are stuffed, set it aside. Let's make the gravy. Piercing the potatoes before boiling them is a trick to keep them intact while stuffing. To a hot pan, I added 2 tablespoons of oil. After checking the temperature of the oil, I gently added all the stuffed potatoes. Make sure you are gentle with the stuffed potatoes so that the stuffing does not separate from the potatoes. Once all the potatoes are added to the pan, give it a couple of minutes before we start turning them. I'm using a skewer here to turn it gently so that they get a beautiful golden brown color all over. Once all these potatoes turn golden brown, remove them from the pan and then add finely chopped onions to the pan. You can also add a tablespoon of oil before adding the onions if there is no enough oil on the pan. Here I added about 300 grams of finely chopped onion to the pan and I'm going to cook it until golden brown. Meanwhile, I am preparing some spice mix for this curry. In a separate bowl, I am taking 2 tablespoons of Kashmiri chili powder. You can also use paprika. To that, I added half a teaspoon of cooking oil and boiling hot water and mixing it and setting it aside. Once the onions are golden brown, I am adding 1 teaspoon of salt and giving it a good mix. Then I am adding 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste and mixing it well till the ginger and garlic are cooked. Then I am adding the basic masalas of chili powder and turmeric powder and the Kashmiri chili paste, which was mixed with hot water and oil. Immediately after the paste, I added a couple of tablespoons of hot water so that the masalas don't burn and gave it a good stir so that they do not stick to the bottom. Then I turned off the stove and immediately added 4 tablespoons of yogurt and mixed well before turning the stove back on. To this I added coriander powder and mixed it well before adding the tomato paste, followed by some salt, and mix this mixture well and I let it cook till the oil separated. Cooking the curry until the oil separate is very important because it ensures the spices we added earlier are well cooked and blended into the curry. Now you can see the oil is separated, so I am adding quarter cup of kova and blended it well into the curry, followed by the cashew paste. Now please make sure the flame is on the lowest. Now again cook the curry until the oil separates. Once the oil separates, add 2 cups of boiling hot water into this curry. Bring it to a boil by mixing the curry and the liquid together and let it simmer for few minutes before adding 1 teaspoon of garam masala. After adding garam masala, allow the curry to simmer for 5 minutes. Now it is time to taste and adjust the salt of our curry. I needed some salt, so I had to add and let it cook for another 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, it's time for us to add the potatoes back into the curry. Once you add the potatoes into the curry, please do not stir it. Just allow it to gently sit there and simmer for a couple of minutes. After 5 minutes, I added dry kasuri methi, dried fenugreek leaves into the pan. I just crushed the leaves between my palm and spread it in the curry and gave it a gentle mix and let it simmer for 10 minutes after adding the potatoes. Now it's time for us to add a smoky flavor into our aloo dum. So I prepared a piece of coal and allowed it to smoke by covering it with a lid and adding some oil onto the coal. I removed the lid after 5 minutes and removed the coal. By now, the potatoes are all cooked through. So now it is time for us to add the final touches into the curry. Here comes the cream. I added 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. But before adding it, I tempered it by mixing it with some curry and then mixed it into the pan so that the cream does not break. After adding the cream, I gently mixed it into the curry so it's well incorporated. Then I added a handful of finely chopped cilantro and some fried dry fruits like some dried grapes and some cashews. This is entirely optional, but it really gives a good bite in the curry. Since it is a wedding style, it's made very rich. Then it's just the garnish, a slice of butter, few drops of cream. Now it's ready to be plated. This goes very well with naan. I'm serving today with some naan in wedding style.